Hi everyone, welcome. I am Jenna and this is Apple Creations. I want to welcome you. Let me get myself pulled up over here. We are making a snowman. Here we go. Let's refresh. Oh, there I go. There I am. I found myself. So when you hop on, say hi. If you're new, let me know where you're from. And if you see this on replay, please say hashtag replay. So I got both devices going. So hopefully I'll be able to see comments on one of them because one of them usually gives out partly through the video. Yeah. So we're going to figure this out. So what I'm doing is a snowman, and I already have him made. So he's like a bowling pin shape. So I have him made and I have him stuffed, and he has a box bottom. Now you see that piece of fabric on the bottom? I glued that on because we're putting him on a base. Now he does have weight in the bottom of him, and what I used, let me turn you around and put you on here so I can use both hands. There we go. What I used, this is a coffee creamer, a big one, is doll weight. Now somebody asked me from Friday's video, hi Jody, hi Teresa. This is what the doll weight is. It's just little plastic pellets. That's what this is. And I buy a gigantic box of these at a time. You can buy a lot smaller containers, but when I put them in these big coffee creamer bottles, and it makes it really easy to pour. And I sometimes, depending on how big of an opening that I have used, I use a funnel. And I just put it right in the bottom. Now you can see it a little bit here, but I fill it almost completely up. And then I put my weight in whatever I'm using. And then I put fiberfill over top of that. But see, he stands. So that's what plastic doll weight is. Because on Friday's video, oops, there's thread. There's thread in everything that I have. I used, oops, I forgot to turn that off. I used the glass beads from Dollar Tree as my weight. So you have to be careful doing these because they go everywhere. Let me turn this down. There we go. So that's what, hi Jody, that's what the doll weight is. And you can get it Amazon, Michael's, well, I almost said Joann's, but we don't have Joann's anymore, do we? But Michael's, Hobby Lobby, everywhere sells it. If you ask for doll weight, somebody there would show you. So we're making a snowman. And I have a baby gourd that looks like a snowman. So we're going to make this. Hi, Kathy. We're going to make this into a snowman also and hang it around his neck. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how we get this together. So on Amazon, I got these faces. Now, I have not opened these up yet. I don't know if they're rub-ons, how you put these on. But, yeah, see, they're different. There's one sheet. Are they cute? So we're going to attempt to use one of these. See, look at that one. So there's 4 sheets here. So you have 12 faces. Now, I don't remember what I paid for these, but we're going to attempt to use one. We're going to use one on another body, just in case it doesn't work out. I don't mess up the one I already have stuffed. So I just have to flip this one because I'd hate to have that one all stuffed and ready to go, and then these things not work out. And if it does work out, then I'll just stuff this one, because I've got 5 of these bodies made. But I thought these were really nice. But the description doesn't say if they're rub-ons or what. So we're going to try one. Hi. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Julie. Thank you for sprinkling. I appreciate that. Says, anybody else seen these on Amazon? So I don't even know how to get these off. There's no direction. None at all. There's no direction. And this is in another language, so I barely speak English. So I don't know if these are iron-on, rub-ons, what. But I can't even get them off the page. Oh, great. I'm glad you got the springs. So finally, my packages are being delivered. I've been wondering. Now, I can't even get this separated. So I don't even know how to use this. Too bad I can't speak another language, because there's no directions on the listing either. Huh. So maybe we won't use those. We'll do our own face. But I thought these were really cute. I just had to figure out how to use them. I'll show you a new product and I can't show you how to use it. That's pretty good, huh? We're not going to spend too much time trying to take this thing apart. Okay, so you have to cut them apart. And then this film on the front comes loose. And this is sticky. So we're still going to try it on this one that's not stuffed. So maybe this is the way you're supposed to use it. So I'm hoping. Yes, Joanne, it does. Hi, Mel. We're trying something new I got on Amazon. But I'm trying it on an unstuffed snowman because I don't want to ruin the one I have stuffed. This is extremely sticky. Extremely. My fingers are really sticking to this. This here is extremely sticky. But it comes with some really cute looking faces. So you get 12 faces. And I think it was like $7. I'll have to find that listing and post it. A link to it. But the directions are in another language. So that didn't help me any. So let me put my hand in this and see how this would move. So it moves really good. I don't know. So maybe we'll try one on a... Yeah, I can't get my nail underneath of it to pull it back up. So let's try one on a stuffed. Let's do that again. So I was scrolling through Amazon one day and I saw these and I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I The last one came apart as I cut it. So now let's try it this way. Let's pull this whole thing off. So I'm going to cut this mouth off and move it up. So I'm rubbing it down with my nail. Let's see if we can peel it up. No. So it worked better by me taking each piece off. I thought maybe once you rubbed over it, like a rub-on, but that didn't work out very well. So but it's not coming up. So let me take the mouth off, since it worked out better by taking these pieces off of the plastic. So has anybody seen these or used these? This wasn't the face I was planning on using on this, but I want to play around with these. So I'm going to have to see how long I have fiber fill under. There we go. So what do you think? It's a lot easier if they last. Huh. But they are cute faces. Okay, let's get busy doing this snowman. Okay, so like I said, I have this baby gourd, and we're going to make a little snowman out of it. Now we're actually going to paint its face on. And I have some really heavy sheet of felt. I got this from a Hobby Lobby, and I just have pieces of it left. So I'm going to make a tiny, maybe we'll use a skewer, little nose for the little guy. Let me get a skewer. It helps if I could see. When my fibromyalgia is acting up, I can't see very well. Let me cut a little tip off. Let's paint it first. It'd be easier. So I have a bunch of these baby gourds. That's what I call them. They're about 2 inches. I bought a bunch of gourds a couple years ago from a lady on eBay. They weren't cleaned, so when they arrived, they had a lot of mold on them. But that's the way they do. They mold, and then you scrub them. So I'm going to paint the tip of this. I'm going to paint more than I need, just to make sure that I get enough of it. And we're going to cut the tip of this off and use it as a nose. So you can use a toothpick. You can use felt. You can use a stick. You know, there's all kinds of things you can use as noses. Hi, Mom. So we're going to stick this over here and let it dry, because we got to drill a hole in this guy. So I have my Dremel, and we're just going to drill a hole completely through this stem. Whoops, turned it the wrong way. So we got a hole completely through. So we're going to put a piece of twine through there and put it around his neck after we finish it. So I'm thinking I'm going to just do like a real quick white paint over it. Just to make it look a little bit more like a snowman. I'm not going to make it completely covered. I'm just going to a wash over it. Just a real quick little, because I want it to still look like a gourd. Now my muslin is coffee stained. Hi, Annette. We're making a snowman and we're using a baby gourd too. So Annette, people are starting to receive their packages from me. So hopefully you get yours soon. So I'm just using hardly any paint on this. Well, this is almost empty. Looks like I better get some more white. I don't use white very much, because when I do, I always add coffee to it. So this is almost dry. For some reason, when things leave Georgia, at least my area, Georgia, it seems to take so much longer for packages to get out of here. I know they go into Atlanta and then leave Atlanta, but where they leave from here before they get to Atlanta, I don't know. But sometimes, like, I'll send my mom things and it's 2 weeks. And then sometimes she gets it within days. So I don't know how this system works. So we got a little gourd, partially painted. And we're going to have to dry him. So I'm going to put him on a skewer and I'm going to dry him. That would have been an easier way to paint that too, wouldn't it? Yeah, live and learn, right? Oh, Julie, I'm glad I'm not the only one. I'm in like an hour from Atlanta, but the shipping here is crazy. Last year, I sent out 4 packages from a sale I had. Everything ended up in Utah. For me to get it out of Utah, I had to pay shipping from Utah to these people's addresses, and nothing went that direction. Nothing at all. And I couldn't believe it. They made me pay shipping again. So I was quite upset with the postal system that day. It took like 3 weeks for everyone to get their stuff because it went to Utah. I'm like, why Utah? Now I don't know if I can feed this through. I'm going to have to put this on a needle. Yeah, I was getting ready to send second packages out to everybody because no one was receiving their packages. And my mom, a couple years ago, I sent her something for Christmas that I had made, and she never has received it, and it's been a couple years. So where it went, I don't know, because I never got it back either. Yeah. Oh, you are? You're an hour away too? I'm an hour south. In the Stockbridge, Griffin area. Okay, let's see if we can get through that way. Oh yeah, if that works out good. And I don't know how much of this we need, so we're just going to cut a piece and wait until we get him finished. So, I'm kind of happy with that base. It is not peeling off at all. And that's fabric. See, it's not lifting up, and I'm running my nail right along it. So good. So we need to give him a little bit cheeks. We need to, if it seems like things are a little scattered, I am a little scattered. I'm going into a flare-up. So I don't know, it was my busy weekend, it being Monday and work is crazy. I don't know. Or just the weather changing. Or it could be no reason at all. It has a mind of its own. I guess should give him some cheeks. Make him a real happy guy. Okay. So we also can put that little guy in his hands, because I thought about using, let me get it. This is clothesline. I'm trying different things. I've had ideas and I thought I would try them. Clothesline for arms. So we could put the little guy right in his arm. Okay. So I'm going to cut this. And knot it. Make knots for his hands. So these are ideas that I've been trying. Hi, welcome. Oh, thank you. I appreciate the prayers. Oh, you're in Rome. Well, you're really not that far from me. So I'm just trimming off that little bit right there. And I'm going to put a dot of glue right on the end of that. Just because this, it's not a cotton clothesline. It's more like our acrylic material. So I don't want it to continue to fray. So let's do another one. And then we'll figure out how long we want these arms to be. You have fibromyalgia, you could wake up and be perfectly fine. And a few minutes later, be in a flare-up. With no notice at all. Okay. I did miss you. So we have clothesline. We're trying for arms. How long we want these arms to be. So we're trying something new. So right there, I'm going to knot. I'll make a knot on both ends. See, we all missed you. So I thought about when I cut this, I could just burn the edges because that's what it feels like this end was. And I thought if I set my smoke detectors off, that would be awful during a video. So I decided to cut and glue. Okay, so let's glue these up here because his scarf will cover these knots up here. So sometimes things you try work out, and sometimes it's an utter failure. So we're going to see what this is tonight. You feel loved and appreciated. So I'm just holding that. Not sure what I just knocked on the floor. It's probably something that I absolutely need. Because something always, every video, ends up on the floor. Or it disappears off my table when I can't find it. Would have been fun. Yeah, I'd scare my husband to death because I think he's taking a nap. See, I think this little guy would look cute in his hands, don't you? After we get him finished. So that's, now that he's dry and his nose is dry. Is it dry? I'm going to hit it with a dryer anyway. I quit calling this what it's supposed to because, you know, if the manufacturer calls this a heat thing, then I should be able to call it that too. I know there's like a troll that comes along during a video and takes stuff. But if you call this what it actually is, I've been kicked off, and I've been kicked off of this page enough in the last 2 weeks that I'm not doing it again. And I don't even know why I was kicked off this week, because I wasn't on last week at all. They wouldn't let me on, and I could not make a connection at all. So I don't know why they're mad at me. I don't do anything wrong that I know of. And it would be nice if they would say something other than community standards. Because that doesn't tell me what I did wrong at all. Yeah, that's going to look cute there. So let's put a tiny dot, a glue. I know, right? At least this last time, Tony was able to tell you guys I was in jail. Usually when I'm in jail, he is too. You know, ever since I started this new page, it's been a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. I get so mad, and you can ask Tony. I keep telling him, that's it, I'm done. I'm done. But then I come right back because I love doing videos. I'm going to put one more coat on this, because you can see the dowel a little bit. Okay. Oh, wouldn't that be fabulous? I'll go against community standards if I can stay home and not have to go to work. But my boss, I think, would come and give me a ride. So I'm just going to roll this clothesline up. I don't even know why I have this. I found this in I have a drawer of all kinds of jute and ropes and things, and I found that in there. I thought, oh, I'll use that. I don't know why I have it. Something that I made at some point in my 600 years of doing this stuff. Okay, so let's get our snowman back over here, and let's let his nose dry. And I have, this is from a flannel shirt that I cut apart. And we'll tie that around his neck. Where's my camera? It's around my neck. I have a neck. It wraps around my neck, and my phone attaches to it. Jenna Cam. Yes, I will take it off and show it to you before we're done. It's really nice when I'm sewing. That way you can see right up underneath the needle. But this way you guys get really close to what I'm doing. And if I want to show you something like real detailed, then you can see it. I saw a painter, I think it was, on Instagram that had this, and I sent them a message and asked them what they were using. I thought that would be perfect for my sewing, and they shared it. It's only like $20 on Amazon. Thank you. So let's get some buttons out here and go down the front of him. So I just grabbed a handful of black buttons. They're all different sizes, and we're going to put it right down the front of this guy. So no rhyme, no reason, just put them right down the front of him. I can put a link to this camera too. I've shared it a couple of times because everybody asks. I should just pin it to the top of my page. Now I'm going to put this guy on a base. Even though I have weight in the bottom, this is a really big can lid. If you've been following me for a while, I save all my can lids. And oh, you wouldn't have to fix your hair. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to cover it with burlap. I think I need a new glue tool because this one lately has been acting up on me. So I save all my can lids, and this is a big one, like from a gallon can. I don't know what size can that is, but what I'm putting it on burlap, and I'm gluing on the outside of the burlap so that when I put the two together, they will seal that edge. And he's in my way. And no, I am not using my fingers because I like my fingers. They've got so many burns on them lately. And there I go using my fingers. Pushing this all down right around that edge. So we had a nice weekend with our son. It's down around St. Simon Island in Lower Georgia. It's beautiful down there. But I couldn't believe how hot it still was. It's cool here, but I took hoodies and I thought I was going to die. I wasn't thinking the beach would be warmer than it is here. So I'm just going to cut around this. But I did come home with a bunch of Spanish moss that I ended up washing and laying out to dry. So I guess it takes, from what I looked up, about 4 days to dry. So I got a huge, like a kitchen trash bag full. So next time I need Spanish moss, I know where I'm going. I'm making a 4-hour trip to my son's. So I'm just making sure this is sealed all the way around the edges. Yes, those trees are so beautiful, just hanging with Spanish moss. Although when I was doing it, Nat was on my video, and she said that, what kind of bug did she say lives in that? And they bite. So luckily, I didn't get any with those little red bugs in it. But, okay. So we're going to glue him to this base. And that's going to help him stand. Hi, Brenda. Good. He looks like a cookie. You're hungry for a cookie, huh? So I'm going to put glue all along the bottom of him. So I just sealed up that stuffing hole with another piece of fabric. I glued it right on. So we're going to hold this really tight. I'm glad you made it, Brenda. And we're going to squeeze him down. So we used something that I got off of Amazon. See that face? It's like needs chocolate chips. It definitely needs chocolate chips if it's a cookie. It's a vinyl. There's like 12 in this pack, different faces, but I can't pick it off of that. You rub it, I rubbed it on and it stayed. So I'm going to hold this to make sure that glue really gets dry there. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. So I have a hat that we're going to make for him too. See? I use these can lids all the time. Instead of wood a lot, those can lids, it's something that we throw away. And they work. So this is just a piece of a gift box that I cut apart. And I covered in black fabric, band, and say. So we're just going to glue this. No, you can use gigantic yo-yos to make, I have some made in the other room. I will post a picture of them and try and figure out what size yo-yo I used. But if you use a large one and stuff them, they will stay like big balls. I will post a picture of the ones I have made. So right here, I cut out the center in the middle because I want this to fit on his head, not just sit on his head. Oh, there we go. So I'm just going to make slits because this won't be seen. So I just made like a donut out of the cardboard, covered it, and we're going to glue this right on the top. So using this camera stand is a learning curve because it's right here in the front. So if you need to see like this hat, you have to kind of look off to the side of the camera. Yeah, it is a lot easier than sewing 6 or 7 panels together. So I need to make a top here. But see? And it will fit better on the top of his head because we cut those slits. We got glue strings. Okay, so I'm going to use another piece of this to go around his hat. And this is just a sleeve from a flannel shirt somebody left at work. I always look for flannel and wool at work. when someone leaves them. Now, when I find wool, a lot of times it needs cleaned, I do not take it to the laundromat or throw it in a washer. I don't take it to the dry cleaner. I throw it in the washer. So when you do that, you get a lot of shrinkage to your wool. That's what they call, thank you. That's what they call like a boiled wool or a shrunken wool. You can buy it like that, but I'm not taking anything to the dry cleaner that I get for work for crafting or sewing. So I wash it, and I wash it in cold. I also look for men's dress shirts because that is really nice fabric to use. So I brought in Chanel stems too because I wasn't sure what kind of nose I was giving these guys. So I have Rusty Bells. This is my Rusty box. So let's see. I have all kinds of greenery here. We can cut down. This was a really big pick I got. And I have cut this thing down so many times. So I've gotten such use off of that. Let's get some bells. So I'm going to be grunging or rusting up some wire and stuff. So I'm going to be coming live because I've had a couple questions about how to do that. So let me get my wire clippers. See, I had them here. Don't know where they went. So we're going to take just the tips of a couple of these greeneries and tuck them in to the hat. And of course, fiberfills on everything I own too. I went to work one day and I had fiberfill on me. I was like, I wasn't even touching anything sewing today. But anyway, I had it on me. Let's take one of these pine cones. Now, these are not real. These are like, they don't feel, they're not plastic, but they don't feel, I don't know what they're made out of. And let's glue some of these little bells right here. So I'm just going to tuck them right in. Maybe 3 of them. And I know I got to cover the top of the hat yet too. So there. That will look really cute on the top of his head. We also could use the top of his hat and put greenery and stuff coming out of it. That's an idea. I haven't done that in a while. Have you all done that before? Let's take these white. These are like a little too fancy for him. He's like an old farmer guy. So I have red berries here. I'm glad that didn't fall on the floor. So I'm just arranging this before I glue it. Thank you. So I have to glue that in. See, I have some different, is that the same? That's the same. Let's get some different greenery. Now this, I don't think my scissors are going to cut because it is wire. You know, I had those wire cutters I brought them in just for this greenery. Oh, yeah, it will. Shocking. I keep moving this floral stuff around. Maybe I'll find those wire cutters after I don't need them anymore. So what's that hat look like? So we have to glue it all in. Let's start gluing. Let's take some more of this berry stuff. So you can buy a garland of this berries. They're about $25 to $30. But when you start ripping, now this is just a large stem, but you can buy one of the swags and you start ripping it apart. You wouldn't believe how many picks you have in one of those. I think it was on my other page. I took one completely apart. People were amazed at how a big pile I had from one of those berry garlands. You know, the pipberry ones? Okay, catch there. So some of those picks are like several dollars a piece. But if you buy the swag, you save so much money. So I'm holding these till they catch. Thanks. So had I put a hard bottom in the bottom of this hat, we could have put a light in there, but I don't have a little one. I've had them ordered for a while, and they keep getting back ordered. So hopefully I get them in time for all the stuff I want to use them for Christmas. Yeah, it's so much cheaper. That's right. So on my other page, I was telling people how much cheaper it was because they were talking about all the picks that I was using. And the picks was just a big garland I ripped apart. Because these florals get awful expensive. Especially when you're using a lot of them. Thank you. Oh, Crafty Brother. Hi. Welcome. Hi, Kay. So we're just tucking these berries here and there. And after the glue sets up, I'm going to fold them over the side. So I appreciate you all joining me. Feels like it's been 10 years since I've been on, since I've been in jail for 2 weeks in a row. And I don't know what I did either time. Like I told my husband, I'm going to YouTube. I'm not doing this anymore. It's like, sometimes I think that's what they want you to do. Just go to another forum. I don't know. So this one doesn't have wire in it, so I'm going to glue it. Tony told me last week, he said, we don't have bail money, so you just have to sit in jail for a while. He said maybe the kids will feel bad for you and bail you out. I'm going to take another one of these pine cones and stick in here. They didn't feel sorry for me. They all left me in jail. I feel so loved. Now, I actually had one of the kids go through my Facebook, all the settings, to see if there's something that I'm doing wrong. They couldn't find anything. And naturally, you never get any answers. Or when you do get the answers, it's months ago. It's months between. So there's his hat. So let that set up. Let's get rid of all this garland stuff. Okay, so let's figure out what we're doing with this little gourd. Do we want to hang it around his neck? We got to put his eyes on yet. Or put it in his, I think put it in his arms. So let me get some black paint for him. And I'm just barely getting, barely getting any on this skewer to just give him tiny little eyes. Just a dot. And give him a mouth. I like that. So I got to cut a little piece of a scarf for him. And get some baby wipes for my fingers. I can paint a wall and not have any paint on me. But I sit down here to craft and I look like a preschooler. I finger paint when I sit down here. Okay, so let's cut this and give him a little scarf. This is why I have a million pair of sewing scissors. Because they get lost. They walk away. So I'm cutting this really thin. Since he's got a tiny little neck. That's probably long enough. And before I put my fingers in his face, let's dry it. Wow, that's hot. Yeah, that's a little baby gourd. So I think I have like 8 of these baby ones left. You're the same way, Jody. So I should put something on his head. What should we put on his head? I don't have any other fabric sitting here. Burlap. I have pieces of burlap. Let's see what we can do. We could wrap this around. Let's see what that looks like. Tie it. No, I don't like that. We're just going to leave him without a hat. He's a baby. So let's bring its arms together. Let's get rid of that. Let's bring his arms together. I know what I can do with this little one. I can give him earmuffs. I knew I brought those chenille stems in here for a reason. Let me reach them. Okay. So the scarves are red and blue. So let's get a red chenille stem and a blue one. So these are going over his ears. These are the muffs. Let's just twist them. See how big they need to be. That's good enough. Touch that tip on that glue tool. Okay, so let's take the blue and wrap it around his head. Since we have those holes, we can stick it right in there to hold. This will cover up those holes we drilled and make him look like he's got earmuffs on. He's got earmuffs. So let's glue him right into, what do you think? Yeah, I could have cut two small triangles. The sides of my glue tool are a mess. I need to clean this thing. You like the earmuffs? I don't need to glue that to his body. So there he is so far. You have to put his hat on his head. So I think FB has done another, some type of an update, because today I got a friend suggestion of my kids. And they are the ones that got me on. No, that's a baby gourd. But you definitely could use air dry clay. But that's a little tiny gourd. Thank you, Brenda. So I thought, what is going on? Why am I getting a friend suggestion of my kids? Because when my daughter first moved to New York, the girls were really little. That's when I'm dating myself now. When Skype was the thing, the new thing. I used to read the girls' bedtime stories. So they are 2021. That's how long I've been on Facebook. And I was like, why am I getting a friend suggestion from them? For them. So I found out a bunch of people were off my page. And I'm like, not again. So I think they've done some kind of an update or something. Because they're the first ones. For the longest time, they were the only ones on my friend's page. On my personal page. So I don't know what happened. So you may want to check your friends to see if you still got them. Or you may have lost your kids too, like I did. I'm playing here. I need to put something down here. I have a snowflake garland. I got this last year at Dollar General for a quarter. It was like after Christmas. I hit this after Christmas sales because you save so much money. Of course, you got to keep it for a year, but you know, throw it in a tote. Let's see. Before I glue anything, let's play here. So what do you think? You think you've made somebody mad? Hey, my kids could be mad at me. It won't be the first time. Of course, they're adults now, so, you know, I don't think they get mad at me as easy as they did when they were younger. Because my daughter watched Friday's video today, so I don't know. When I saw her as a friend suggestion, I'm like, what? Has she been hacked? First thing I think, everyone's been hacked. You love the snowflakes? Because after I lost my other page, I was like, everybody gets hacked. But I lost my business page and my personal page that time. I had to restart them both. To overlap those a little bit. Let's get the glue off of this little guy. There we go. So what do you think? Looks perfect. I think I'm going to order some more of these and mess around with those some more. I'll post a link. I've had them for a while. I didn't know how to use them because there's no directions. For whatever reason, they don't have direction. Well, they are. There is directions. If you speak whatever language that is. Yeah, if you speak whatever language that is. So, there he is. So let me show you. I'm going to take you off the phone. Thanks, Brenda. Take you off of this. And I'm going to show you the phone stand. So this wraps around your neck. So it just wraps around your neck. And it clips here. And then you get a metal ring that goes on the back of your phone. And it just snaps on to, let me find you here, right here. Your phone snaps on right there. So I have a metal ring on the back of my phone case that goes with this. But this is the name of it, if you want to screenshot it. But I will post a link to it. Thanks, Mom. Thanks. Thank you. So that's what I have around my neck. That's why y'all can see really close. See, it just snaps together. And it was under $20. So there he is. There's his hat and his face and the rest of him. And I will post a link to that, his face, because you get 12 of them. And then I'll post a link to this. So God bless all of you. Here's the first one we tried. I can't get my nail up underneath of that. So that really adhered. Huh. So if you're not good at faces, there's an option. God bless you. Have a wonderful night. I will see you on Wednesday.